What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have Heroes, and this is my deck profile for post Maze, and I kind of put a new spin on it as far as how Heroes I think should be played, and I can't wait to see what you guys think about it, so let's jump right into it. And again, guys, if y'all enjoy content like this, definitely let me know down in the comment section below. Let's jump into the E-Heroes. So for the Elemental Heroes, I'm back on 3 Stratos. So I definitely think that Stratos is our main facilitator because it gets us into our Vision Hero cards, it gets us into our Master Hero cards. So I definitely think seeing 3 of this, seeing at least one of this, is the way we're going to need to go from here on out. So I'm back on 3. So for the rest of the E-Heroes, we are on 1 Neos, 1 Shadow Mist, 1 Liquid, and 1 new card for me is 1 Wing Kuriboh level 6. I don't think it's necessarily necessary for the deck because, you know, you're not necessarily going to search this, but it is another option. It is another E-Hero target, so if you do have this in your hand, it's not a bad thing, especially if you go into your Flaming Wingman combo with this, go get your favorite contact, and then you can just banish it to summon this. It's another monster negate, so I think it's another option for us going forward. But it's definitely a card you could cut. It's something I have been play testing that I've really been enjoying. For the Destiny Hero package, we do 3 Malicious and 1 Plasma. So I don't have Denier in this build because I think Denier is another brick for the deck. Like, the deck already plays enough of them, so I think just limiting it to Malicious and Plasma. Plasma is, I definitely think this hurts decks because we are a floodgate deck. That's what Heroes are. There's no way around it. Dark Claw with Plasma is arguably one of the best inboards for us. So if you're controlling the graveyard and controlling the field, if you have the option to get to this, then I definitely think you should. But it's not necessarily the main facilitator for that. I definitely use this for a Fusion Destiny target more than I do to summon it. So that's just another option for that. But no Denier. I think getting that extra summon and getting Malicious to summon itself one more time, I don't think that's really that much worth it for me. For the Vision package, we do 3 Ferris, 2 Vion, and 2 Increase. So I wanted to bump this up to 2 because if you run this at 1, every hero player knows that even if you run a 60 card deck, you're going to see Increase in your hand. So why would I kill this whole line by just drawing this? Because once you draw this one of, you basically kill 5 cards in your deck. So I don't think that's the way to go. I definitely think bumping this up to 2, since you already cut Denier, you're already cutting down on one of the bricks. So if you draw one of these, it's not a big deal. You can use it as a fusion piece or whatever. So I think putting it back at 2 is going to be the way to go for right now, at least until we get Ejector and all that. For the Masked Heroes, a little different than what you're going to see online, is 3 Furnace and 1 Crow. So the object for this is because you want to see your fusion cards. You need to see your fusion cards. That's how Heroes are able to spam out our big bodies, to get out our floodgates, and to really make it hard on our opponents. You can maybe say Crow could be at 2, but I don't think Crow is as good as Furnace. And yeah, this searches this, but if you're running this at 3, you have a pretty good chance of seeing this in your opening hand anyway, and we have other ways to get to this. Also, this, believe it or not, is a Fusion Destiny target, so you can use your Plasma in this to go into your DPE. So I think 3 Furnace is just how I'm testing it, so that's not saying that's the right way to do it, but I think for now that's how I'm going to play test it. Onto the power spells, we are on 3 A Hero Lives. I did cut this down to 2 at one point, but as you saw earlier, we are on 3 Stratos, so this is basically like running 6 Stratos. So that's kind of how I look at it. And then if I draw Stratos in my opening hand, then you can just go for Shadow Mist immediately and just get, turn 1 Dark Law. That simple. For the polys of the deck, we do run 1 Polymerization, 1 Miracle Fusion. I do run 2 Fusion Destiny. You don't need to, but it's not as bad to see this anymore because you are able to get into your combos with Fusion Destiny. I do still think this is a shit card, and I don't think it's that great, but on the other hand, it does get Malicious to the graveyard. You do have Fusion Destiny targets for this. I only run 1 Fusion Destiny target, so technically one of these is a brick. So I definitely think 2 is the way I would go. I think anything more than that's going to be just way too much. Now, if you're running more Destiny hero targets in your extra deck, then yeah, run 3. But I think 2 is the way to go with this. We have 2 mass change because I think Darklaw is the best fusion monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it's phenomenal. The way it just shuts off your opponent's graveyard, rips a card from their hand. So I think making sure we can get into that, because you've got multiple cards now that can search this. So I don't think 3 is the way to go. I do think this can get cloggy because you do want to search this, but it's not bad to draw it if you happen to draw the one of, because then I know I can get a body on field to do what I need to do. And to round out the main engine, we do 1 Rhoda, 1 Foolish Burial, and then the 1 Favorite Contact. So this essentially is 8 Stratos between these 2 Hero Lives and the 3 Stratos. Like, this is, you know, you're almost guaranteed to see Stratos in your opening hand. And for the remainder of the deck, the non-engine, it's not a lot. It is 3 Triple Tactics Thrust, because pretty much every card we need in our spells and traps is a normal spell, as far as Fusion Destiny, Poly, Miracle Fusion, and your Favorite Contact. We do run 2 Droplet and 2 Eclipse, and to finish it off we do 1 Talents. Now, to kind of explain this a little bit is, yeah, the deck doesn't really have hand traps, it really has none, but at the same time, I don't think hand traps, because of the limited amount of engine that we do have, because you can argue, you can make this 3 Fua, 3 Ash, 2 Imperm, you know, like you can do whatever you want. But at the same time, I think these are the way to go, because this is going to protect your fusions from your impermanence. This is going to protect you from the Draco Tail trap cards, because it's just going to flip it face down. And then if you have cards on field you just can't really deal with, obviously this deck does run a lot of bricks. So you play this can get, you know, those bricks into the graveyard, whether it's malicious or whatever, and you can shut down some of your opponent's plays over there. And then obviously, like I said, the thrust to go into whatever you need, and then you can thrust into this, rip a card, draw 2 to get more into your engine. And that's kind of the thought process behind this, but this can always change. This is just my opinion on how the deck should obviously function. But going into that, Heroes are one of the biggest brick decks that there is. So it might be the most bricky deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! So with that said, this is why you do what you do. You run your 3 Furnace, and then you have your 3 Ferris. So if you happen to draw, you know, some of these bricks, you know, that you just don't want to see, or if you have Shadow Mist with this in hand, you ditch this, summon this, search Stratos, do whatever you got to do. You know, you can pitch, like if I draw an extra version of Fusion Destiny, if I draw 2, you know, you can get rid of it with Furnace. So that's what I'm looking at in the deck, is these cards are going to eliminate, like these will eliminate the bricks that are in your hand, like any brick, as far as, well, this will do any brick, but you know, your bricky heroes, this is going to do it, and this is going to do it. So I mean, you've got 8 ways to get rid of your bricks. You got 8 ways to get to Stratos, 8 ways to get rid of bricks. So then your Stratos gets into this, or your Stratos get into this, and then this is going to get rid of your bricky cards, and then this is just a bonus. So, you know, if you happen to draw, you know, these 2 in your opening hand, you do this to search your poly, get rid of your malicious, use malicious effect to summon himself, and bam, you have a DPE just like that. So, and then once DPE comes to the field, this will special summon. You can special summon this. You have 2 warriors, go into your Cross Crusader, and then just continue your plays, you know. So I think there's a lot of potential for a lineup like this. Is it perfect? No. But at the same time, if you keep the deck count low, which this is actually one of the lowest counts I have, it is 42 cards, and the deck just runs phenomenal. You know, even if I see some of those bricky cards, like even if I run into where I'll draw Malicious, Forbidden Droplet, Eclipse, whatever, that's enough disruption on its own to kind of get you to another turn. But let's get on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, we have 3 Darklaw. Now, what I will say is, in the list I had originally, I did not have 3 of these because I don't think 3 is necessary. I do think 2 is the way to go, but I cannot find my second Wonder Driver for some reason. So I was like, well, why not? We'll just run 3 of the Darklaw. So 3 Dark Law is what we've got so far. Your other big boss is 2 Chaos. I don't think you need 3 of this. I think 2 is perfectly fine, because obviously with Heroes, the extra deck is very, very limited. So you want to have as much space as you can for your other stuff. Not to mention, when all the other new support comes out, you don't want to be fighting over if you have 3 of this, 3 Dark Law, whatever. I think 2 and 2 is going to be the way to go for that. No more, no less. For your Element Hero Fusions, we got 1 Shiny Neo Swingman, 1 Wake Up, 1 Infernal Rage, and 1 Sunrise. I don't think you need any more of these. I have seen some lists that run this at 2. I don't go in this very, very often, but you know, obviously we go into Neo Swingman for the big play, as far as popping your opponent's board, getting that stuff off, and then it's a big body. And to round it out, we got DPE, 1 Trinity, 1 Voltic Thunder. I don't like the Atomic. It's good. I think it's all right. But for me personally, I think I just like this for the recursion, and then it blows up your opponent's board. And then Trinity is just Trinity, you know, 5k for 3 blows to the face. And then DPE is something you'll go into more. If I had a second DPE, I do think I would maybe play this over maybe the Voltic, but I'm working with what I got. And then to round it off, we do the Driver, the Crusader, and the Devicer. Like I said, I would run 2 of these. I will find it, you know, I got so much bulk, so I think 2 Driver is the way to go. I don't think you need 2 Crusaders anymore, because I don't think you're really leaning on that as much anymore. You're really just trying to get your fusion spells back. And that's it for y'all, guys. I don't have a side deck, because I don't think that my side deck is going to be the same as everybody else's, because I don't have a regional until another month or 2 from now, and I do my side decks based off of that. But I would do your side deck based off of your locals. But I guess if I had to give any advice on a side deck, I would probably do load it up with Fualas and then board breakers for your thrust. But other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like this, I can actually absolutely do some combo videos for y'all to show y'all some new stuff with the new mage support. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, Heroes Best Deck.